Okay, so I had to laugh at this video. I just thought it was so funny. I've had people say, it's just easy for you to keep a clean house, or it's just easy for you to keep a clean car. And the reality is that when something is organized and everything is put in its place, it looks effortless. But there is a ton of hard, intentional work and effort that goes into that. And so the reality is it's actually really hard, and it is a lot of work keeping things clean. But that being said, I have 3 tips that I've learned that have helped make it easier in doing it, and I'd like to share that with you today. So the first one is called discipline. Now, hear me out on this one. Discipline, I think, is like a muscle. And the reality is that if we are procrastinating a lot, then we have kind of become lazy in terms of exercising that muscle. And so it's kind of like if you're sitting on the couch all day and then you want to go off and run, it is going to be more hard for you at the beginning because you haven't been doing it. But it is like a muscle. So the more disciplined you can become, the easier it starts to get for you to clean and to keep things organized. So the second one that goes really, really in hand with the discipline is routine. Now, I found that for me, I start to realize when you put routine and discipline together, it is an amazing force because the routine is almost kind of a sense of automation. And so when you start to have a routine where you do it this way in this order the same time every day, your body starts to do it without actually even thinking about it. And so that really helps in terms of like taking the edge off that discipline of I just need to make myself do it. Is that I find I just start doing things without even thinking about it. Like I always try to clean up the house before going to bed, but I often find I just do it now because it is such a routine and an automation that I almost do it without thinking about it before I know it's done, right? And you're not wasting time in between trying to decide what to do next. And so if you can start to put into a regular routine, then your body will do that. And before you know it, you will be done it. And try to do things right away so that they're not sitting there, because the more you have to think about them, the more you feel like you're doing it, and the bigger the task tends to be. But if you can just take care of it right away and then it's done, then that also feels like a lot less work. And then the third point I wanted to say was just trying to eliminate things out of your life that you don't need. And so I think often sometimes we get too much stuff, and we have to stop sometimes. We have to ask ourselves, why do I have this? Why am I doing this? Is this necessary? Because sometimes we're just creating a lot of extra work. And so the reality is, if you have too much for you to manage and it's exhausting and it's overwhelming, then you probably do have too much, and you probably need to start to eliminate and start to go, you know what? Why am I doing this? Why do I have this? Maybe I have too much to manage. Maybe it's time to pass stuff on, right? And so if you can really start to eliminate that so that you just don't have the work to do, is because I find that every time you buy something, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes management in terms of like it breaks or it needs to be put away or any of that kind of stuff. It all takes time. And so if you're starting to find that you do not have time to take care of the things that you have, it might be time to start getting rid of some of those things. And once you start to eliminate, that just makes that discipline and that routine so much easier. So those are my 3 tips. If you have any other tips that you have found that have helped keeping your house clean, keeping things organized, let me know in the comments below. If you want to look more into routine, I do have a video that is called Get More Done. I would highly recommend that video in terms of the next step on this journey. And I've also done one last week about decluttering. And so if you're wanting to look into that a little bit more to go, how do I get rid of my stuff so that I don't have regrets, then I would highly recommend that video as well. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one.
Hit the like button, subscribe below.